Now you're probably wondering why I gave the video the name I gave it, okay? Feminism and racism. Okay? That's right. Feminism and racism. One and the same. That's exactly what it is, though. It's very true. Okay? See, feminist movement was used to break up the family unit and to divide the genders. To set the men and women apart. To set them in fighting against each other. Okay? And we all know that the virus attacks the human brain. Power and greed has no end. And so you give one gender all the everything over the top of the other one. And, of course, the gender that's being given it all don't want to lose that. Greed. Greed never has no end. It's just like power. They're giving power over the male. They're giving, power and greed. It's the virus, okay? But the feminist movement accomplished what they were after. Breaking up the family unit, dividing the genders, okay? Now, racism. How come I'm saying racism and feminism are one and the same? Because they are. It's the other side of the coin. Racism has been used for neons now. Neons and neons. To divide the races. That's right. It has the same effects as feminism. Keeps us divided. Keeps us fighting. It also has power and greed. I'll show you how that power and greed works. Okay? We have officials that are Caucasian in high positions because of power and greed. Oh, but don't get me started now, okay? We have all-black colleges. We have an all-black channel on TV. Okay? I don't recall an all-white channel on TV. I don't recall an all-white college. Feminism. We have an all-women's hospital, only for women. Do you see an all-men's hospital, only for men? Do I see an all-white men hospital? Do you follow what I'm saying? It's division. Brought to you by your global elite. That's right. Brought to you by evil. Brought to you by corruption. Okay? And I've made one statement, and I've made it over and over and over and over again to people. Mankind's failure to grow up. Their epic ability to grow the fuck up, okay? They just fail. They don't never grown up, okay? Mankind's failure from the beginning of time. You know, and I've said this many times, and this applies to every single race out there, every single gender out there. When somebody does something wrong onto people, you have to recognize the name and the face. Not the skin color. But I guess that's above most of your people's IQ. It's further than you can grasp. Or it's because of the virus that attacked the human brain. Like with the feminist movement, the women. You think they want to give up the power they've been given? And be equal? No. No. Okay? It's no different than racism. If one gender keeps crying how they're being victim, or, one race cries how they're a victim, they're a victim, they're a victim, they're a victim, and cries for rights being given to them, more rights, because we're suppressed, we're this, we're that, them rights they'll never quit wanting rights. Never. Ever will they quit wanting rights because it's power and greed. All brought to you by the global elite for division, who will get their way with every last one of us. Because you're all too freaking stupid. You're all too fucking stupid to see what the fuck I'm talking about. And then I become disappointed. There's somebody that I gave a lot of respect to. There's somebody I said openly on a radio show and in video before that he wasn't racist. And I gave him respect and I gave him hands up. And I think that somebody needs to take a long, hard break and step back and look at themselves and look at what they're preaching. Because that's somebody right now is doing exactly what I said they wasn't. They're becoming. They might as well bend over and stick their big black ass in the air and take it in the ass by the global elite, because that's exactly what they're doing. They're not helping themselves, and they're not helping anybody around them. Who they are helping is the global elite. Who they are helping is evil. Okay? You wonder who I'm talking about. Let me show you.
And then there's another thing. Blacks cannot be racist.
Okay, with what you saw there, first off, I have to say this. In public eye, I praised this guy and I gave respect to this guy and I gave him respect. Why did I do that? Because I've been around lots of situations in my life. I grew up in a community that was nothing but black and white. Had black friends as a kid. I've watched what's going on around me and observed what's going on around me in life, and I do see where black people get the wrong end of the deal so many times in life. But it's not like white people don't get the wrong end of the deal too. But that's overlooked when that happens, isn't it? That's right, people look the other way, don't they? Okay, it's no different than the women when they do a crime and people turn their back and look the other way. Same thing. And I give him respect, and I said he wasn't what he's appearing to show me he is. Racist. Because, see, that statement alone is a very, very racist statement. And only somebody who's racist would make that kind of a statement. And I hate to say that, but that's true. Because somebody who really isn't racist isn't going to make some kind of fucking bullshit statement that, that'd be like me saying that white people can't be racist. It's not possible for white people to be racist. Let me tell you something. I don't give a shit what race you are, where from in the world you are, whether you're Muslim, whether you're Mexican, whether you're black, whether you're Caucasian, whether you're Chinese, whether you're Russian, it doesn't matter. Anybody can be racist. Mankind's failure to grow up. How hard is it to recognize names and faces? See, you're no better than the feminist. You're no better than the people that are crying they're a victim that want more and more and more and more and more and more and more. You're fitting right in. But one thing you are successfully doing is bending over and sticking your black ass in the air to be taken up the ass by the global elite. You're doing exactly what they want you to do. And bending over and taking it. See, when I said feminism and racism are one and the same, two different ends of the coin, I wasn't kidding. Feminism destroyed the family and divided the genders. And through power and greed, the women want more, more, more. Racism has divided the blacks and the whites and the Mexicans and the Asians and the Muslims and blah, blah, blah. And through power and greed, they want more too. How do I say that? Well, the blacks want more rights. When they're suppressed, I don't blame them for saying something. But they forgot to open their eyes. They failed to open their eyes. When they brought up Trayvon Martin, they failed again because they wasn't there. They didn't see what happened with their own eyes from beginning to end. The only thing I can agree with them on is that Zimmerman didn't have a right to pursue him. But as far as the actual fight, who attacked who first? I wasn't there. Was you there? No, you wasn't. So my answer to you is shut up, because the media didn't accidentally get his childhood pictures and throw them in the air. It was deliberately done to create the division it created. And it worked. Because a bunch of suckers fall into it. That's right, big suckers fall into it. They got you where they want you. The global elite win. You lose. Because you're not strong enough to fight back. Because you're too fucking weak. You're right where they want you. Divided. The epic failure of mankind to grow up. As I've said before, how fucking hard is it to recognize names and faces and not skin colors? And quit telling me, well, it's your race that victimized my people. Because I'll tell you what. The global elite has deliberately done what they've done, and they've been doing it for fucking hundreds of years. Just like your people have been victimized, so have my people. And so has everybody's people. For this fucking division that's going on right now. This is why you have to recognize names and faces and not skin color. And until you can rise above and recognize the real truth, you will never be able to fight back. And as far as Calvin goes, I'm sad to see this happen. But in a public eye, I told everybody you wasn't racist, and I respected you. Now in a public eye, I'm pointing you out. And I'm pointing you out for a good reason. Because you need to back up. And you need to rethink your decisions and what you're doing and what you're saying. And if you can't do that, and you're so stuck in the area you're stuck in, you can't reach past that to educate yourself, to actually, you can't look at names and faces. There's always got to be skin color to you, then you might as well stop fighting for what's right. Because you're part of the fucking problem. And if you think that you're not part of the fucking problem, then you need to back up and ask yourself this question. How would you feel, Calvin, if I had said all along, no black people allowed on a blog talk radio show? Well, I'm sure that I would have been called a racist, right, Calvin? But your good buddy Angel over there had no problem with saying no Caucasians allowed on his blog talk show, but then turned around and said he wasn't racist, right? So what do you think? There's a double standard there? No, there ain't no double standard there, no there is. Then you need to stop fucking complaining about women and their double standards, because you're just like them. You're no better than them. So stop complaining about women and society and double standards if you agree with that. Okay? And as far as the bullshit that just came out your mouth, it's not the first time I've seen this, and it's not the last time. And let me tell you something. I respected you, Calvin. And I really believe that you wasn't racist, and I understand the struggle that you go through. And if you don't believe me, I don't care what you believe. I do understand it. The problem is you're doing exactly what the global elite wants you to do. The problem is you're being part of the problem. You're stuck in one spot, right where they want you. That's where you're stuck, right where they want you. How hard is it for you to look at a face and a name and not a skin color? Right now, you're no better than the women. You're no better than the feminists. You're no better than any of the people that are victimizing the black people. Because you're willing to victimize innocent white people who've never done nothing to you and blame it on what somebody else done to you. So you're no better than the rest. Sad.